Everyone, and happy Monday. We have this picture here to do today, which is from the Johanna Basford Weekly Planner, and it is from Magical Jungle. I'm just checking date, 28th. So this is our sort of Halloween picture with this sort of skull mask type thing. I don't know what to call it. I've grabbed my Arteza Expert pencils. Now, the ones I've grabbed are my watercolour pencils because I've only recently had these. I think Arteza sent them to me. They just arrived with nothing. And I'm going to use them, but I probably won't activate them. I'll probably just use them dry. You can use them wet or dry. So the colours are the same in the Arteza Expert regular pencils as the watercolour pencils, so you could follow along with either or use a conversion chart for either and it won't make any difference. So I am thinking Halloweeny colours. We've got the spider, the skull, so we'll have a little bit of fun with some purples and things like that to start with, I think. So we'll do the skull mask, whatever it is, I'm not really sure, to start with. Now I'm thinking purples and pinks. I'm just going to get my swatch chart, which is here, and you may see that I have put a little white dot on each of these because I want to do colours which don't bleed into white, because I want to do some jewels. Some of these to me look like they're jewels, so I want to make sure the colours I use, like see that eggplant purple there, I'm not going to use that one because it bleeds. These do a little bit, but they're not too bad. So anyway, I just wanted to check that first, and then we're going to get going. So I'm going to start with the lovely amethyst purple colour. This is like a very dark violet-y shade. Give it a sharpen, and I'm going to pick out the jewels that I think I want to stand out and look really bright. So I'm looking here, we've got this one right in the middle here. So I'm going to start here, and I'm going to make it really intense on the outside. Oh, my book wants to slide around. I've got my wrist warmers on today. It's quite cold this morning. I think it's below 10 degrees outside, which is lovely. It's really bright and sunny. I'm going to start fading the colour here, so it's a little bit lighter in the middle there. So I've left that white bit where Johanna's drawn that piece, and then just fade it a bit towards the middle, like that. I might come in a bit closer because I think we're going to be doing this sort of headband bit first, so you can see a little bit better what I am doing. There we go. There's a lot of noise in the house this morning. I can do these as well in the same way, so darker, more layered up on the outside. My husband and son are having breakfast together, which is lovely, and having a very loud debate, well, discussion about how to do some computery stuff, which is quite dull. My other son came up, I'd already come upstairs to get on with a few bits and pieces, and I thought I'd leave husband to have some chat with his sons, because it's rare for him and them to have time alone. It's quite nice, I think. So my one son's got bored because he's not into computers, so he came upstairs. He's doing listening to some videos for his uni work. He's got a couple to listen to, and then he's gonna not do much more. He's got some assignment work he's gonna do tomorrow, he said. Now I'm thinking this here, I'm going to do this as a gemstone as well. I'm going to stick with this colour because I like it, and it's a really lovely vibrant colour. I think it's quite Halloweeny as well. There we go. It's a bit lighter in the middle. Now you can use more than one colour to get this effect. I might go around, you could, if you can't get it intense enough on the edges, maybe because you've put a little bit too much pressure in the middle, you can put a little black line around. That can help them to stand out. So it's quite early on in October recording this video. I'm getting ahead at the moment, very ahead, which is nice. I've just been in the mood for recording and getting on with things, and it's good. The only thing is, if I then get something which needs a video quickly, you know, a new release or something like that, then I have to give you a third video because I haven't got a slot to pop it in, you know, if I'm recording a series or whatever. But that's okay. I don't mind that happening. It's nice to feel like I'm ahead and on top of things. I've been feeling like I've been getting a little bit behind at times, and I put that pressure on myself. I know there's no pressure to do even one video a day, let alone two, although I know people like that, you know, but it's nice to be able to do it. Now I want to do these as gemstones, these circles and these spaces. I think what I do is I do these spaces with this one, and then we'll switch colours. Now, how I feel this is, we've got a skull with florals on and things like that, and I feel this particular little bit here is like a metallic jewelled headband, which I'm sort of going to try to make stand out a little bit. And then the rest of it, I'm not sure, we might do in slightly, might do them in duller colours or different colours. I haven't quite decided, because I really want this to stand out. One way could be to do the metallic bits, which I feel like this outside bit here and this bit around the background of here, those sorts of bits, I could do that in pen, and then that would really stand out. But I think I quite like to continue with pencil if I can. I've got to make sure I've got the right colours, but I think I have. I'm fairly familiar with the colours in this set, just because I've had the regular non-watercolour set. And what you can see, hopefully, is that I'm putting this down dry, and there's absolutely no need to activate them whatsoever. Now you can, and I will play with them a little bit more, but I'm not very good at watercolour, so I figured that I would just not activate it. I might, like in the background, maybe that might be better if I do a bit of a background, but in this foreground I want it to be really vibrant, and I find that the only way to get watercolour pencils really vibrant is to put your brush on the tip and then rub it on the page, or dip the tip in the water. I don't tend to have a pot of water, I use a water brush, because if I had a pot of water I'd just knock it over all the time. So you can dip the tip of the brush and sort of paint with that, but I'm quite happy with doing it this way. It might feel like it's defeating the object, and if these are more expensive, the watercolours, rather than the regular, then it's probably not worth buying them if you're not going to activate them and use them as watercolour pencil. I haven't checked out the prices. Haven't ever bought any Artes, so my other set was a gift to me as well. I'm very spoilt. Very, very spoilt. I was actually trying to fit a book into my bookcase and realising that it's very, very full. So I might need a new storage solution. I'm actually thinking of moving my completed books into a storage box, or I've also got all the empty tins from where, you know, when you put pencils into a pencil case, you then have a tin. What do you do with the tin? I've sort of kept them, and I don't really know why, because I don't need them, but I just don't know. I don't know what's going on in my head. Now, the other beads, maybe gemstones, I would have done them in the eggplant purple to make it really bright as well, but as I showed you, that isn't going to work. But I'm wondering whether, looking at this swatch chart, the magenta here looks quite pink. So I think that would go quite well. So I'm going to use that. can find it. Here it is. It's with my reds, you see. I'm just going to check actually. Grab a scrap piece of paper. Whoops. Just going to scribble it here. I suppose it is quite red. Whoops. And put it next to the purple. I think that works really well. So that's what. Whoops. So I'm knocking everything flying. Let's get you back there. Sorry. So I'm going to use this magenta to do these triangular ones to start with. I was going to try and fade it to the middle, but that one was so small it was a bit tricky. I was having a look this morning at a job that I thought I'd seen that my son might be able to do for his placement. Unfortunately, it said you needed a driving licence. You needed to have had a driving licence for over a year. And my other son said, yeah, that's why I've got mine. That's why I'm getting mine. He hasn't got it yet. Because you just seem to need it for all jobs. And my husband had this idea that maybe on the CV my son should put that he had a provisional licence, but it was taken away due to health issues. But I don't know if that'll just be off-putting to an employer. So I don't know whether it's true that all jobs ask for a driving licence. It seems a bit, I don't know, a bit over the top. I'm trying to leave a little dot on these, but actually maybe I won't, because I can add it with pen. That was the whole point of using this colour, so that I could get a bit of pen on here. Now this one, I'm wondering whether this bit underneath it is a gemstone or not. I'm just thinking about that while I'm filling these in, and I could do it in this colour, or I could do it as a metallic piece, possibly metallic. I think I want to do silver. I don't think gold is going to go so well, but I could do a mix because we've got a bit here and a bit here, or just different shades, you know, some lighter and some darker. So that's what I'm thinking about while I am colouring in these coloured beads, whatever they are. Not really sure. And also, is this attached to this, or is it separate? I'm thinking it's probably separate. I think I want to treat it as a separate thing, because it looks more like the patterns that are on the rest of the skull rather than the jewels that are on here. Now, if you haven't used watercolour pencils before, it's worth knowing that they do sharpen like a regular pencil in a regular sharpener. So you don't have to worry about having anything special where that is concerned. And the same with crayons, actually. If you ever want to try using crayons, there is a very, very good artist that I see on Instagram called Cat and Paste. And she uses crayons a lot in her colouring, just a regular Crayola crayon, and looks amazing. Right, I'm having a look at the colours. I'm going to use the Cloudy Grey to start with. This is going to be my lighter silver colour, okay? And I'm going to use this on this edge to start with. So to get the silver effect, you want to leave some white. So what I'm going to do is leave a little white bit in the centre of each of these sections there, to try and make it look a bit silvery. Now the best thing to do is to sort of fade it a bit as well, but I can't do that because it's quite a pale colour, so I need to sort of put down a fair bit so that you can actually see it. But I can add a darker colour, say down here maybe, if it's needed, to just make that look a little bit more shiny. We'll see how it all goes. Now, I've been thinking about the leaves as well in this design, on the leaves around the edge here. Now they are really big, I think, so quite daunting to colour, but we can manage. We'll get there. Now these triangles, I'm going to make it darker here and here. Leave a little lighter bit halfway up. So yeah, the leaves, I'm thinking I could do autumnal colours because obviously it's that time of year. I think here we'll do fade that to the middle a bit, and then here as well, and we'll make it darker on the bottom of each of these sides, like that. But we have got flowers and leaves on our skull, or viney, leafy type shapes too. So we've got to look at that as well. Now, I have to sort of decide, do we want the skull to be the bit that really stands out? I think so, rather than the leaves. So that could influence how I'm going to colour it. Now this is really complicated. I think I'm going to try and do a bit all around the edge, a little bit less in the centre. Like that. I set my alarm this morning quite late actually, for 7:30. Normally it's set for 6, but I woke up at 7. I had a bit of a line, I was really tired actually. And so I'm leaving a little white gap in the centre here, because we're having our new gas smart meter fitted today, and any time from 8 o'clock, they're supposed to be ringing before they come. I thought if I got up at 7, I could be up and out of the shower by then, but they haven't been in touch yet, and it is 10:30. But you know, you want to be up just in case, and it's fine. I was awake anyway. I woke up about 7, so as I said, so I just cancelled my alarm and got up about 15:15. So my husband's like, "What time are you getting up?" I said, "Oh, 15:15." So okay, and he went back to sleep. And I got out of the shower and I said, "You getting up?" He said, "Oh, I didn't realise I'd gone back to sleep." Oh dear. Oh, I need to check that everyone's had their meds. Do that in a minute. There we go. Now I'm going to use a darker grey. Now I have a pewter grey. No, that's too brown. Now the charcoal grey is really dark. Whoops. Here it is, the charcoal grey. It's almost black. But I need a darker colour, I feel, in these spaces. So I'm going to use it quite lightly though, because I don't want it really dark, but I just want you to see that it's a different colour. I can also fill it in a bit like that. And then move across. This isn't quite good enough for my liking. I'm going to do a little bit more with it in a minute, but let's just get a little bit of a colour down. Now this pencil's a bit scratchy. That's better. I just turn it around a bit. So I'm thinking we'll put a little darker line here along the edge a bit. So I want it to look like this bit is set down a bit. I think that might be working. As if this bit is sticking out, this bit is set back. So there, this is the sort of shadow from the other bits around it. And then work across. I'm not sure either whether to leave some bits of the skull white, but I think we haven't really got an ivory colour to sort of colour it with, which is what I might have normally used. But I'll have a think as we go. I'm also going to use this just down at the bottom of each of these bits, just to create a bit more of a shadowy look. Oops, try not to get it on the beads, that wasn't my intention. There we go. Okay, there is our, now it needs some brightening up with some white pen. We could do that now, give us a little bit of something different to do. Here we go, Jelly Roll 8 I think is the best bet. And what I'm going to do is start here. This shine is right in the middle, like that. That isn't where I would normally put it, but that's where Johanna's drawn it. So what I'm going to do is going to put a little bit on this side. Like that, and when I get to the middle I'm going to swap sides. So just going to scribble with my pen to get it working a bit better. Might be that it's running out. There we go, just work along. I find I stop breathing when I use a pen. Don't. It isn't necessary. It's just because I get a bit nervous, I think. There we go, and same here, so on this side. Come on, pen. That's better. For a minute till it misbehaves again. They get a bit clogged and a bit dry eventually. Now we're in the middle here, so I'm going to put one on each side. Same here. And then we're going to change sides, so we're moving to this side. I'm going to swap pens, that's getting on my nerves. I've got another one here. It's the same size of nib. I don't know, I've got two. This one doesn't want to work either. Maybe they're all going better. Good. Sorry, silence. She concentrates. There we go. So there's that bit. Now, thinking about the main sort of skull, I think I'm going to go for similar colours to these, but paler versions. So I'm going to use the lavender pencil, which I'm going to try and find. No, that's not it. No. That must be it. There we go, lavender. And I'm going to do some of the florals in lavender. So we've got this bit up here. I'm just going to give it a bit of a sharpen. There we go. Here. And I want it to look paler because I really want this to stand out. So I'm going to make this a little bit darker in the middle though, but it's a much paler colour anyway. So there's that bit. And then down here, I'll come out a tad. That's it. So this one here, I think I'll make that bit pink. I'll do this bit in lavender. Like that. And then maybe, look, we've got some flowers down here. So I'm not doing anything too fancy with these, just blocking them in with some colour. Like that, and then this one down here. And then we need, I want a sort of pale pinkish colour, a pale version of the magenta. I think the Fruit Punch is going to work. It looks very, very bright, but actually when you put it down, I haven't sharpened it yet, look, brand new. When you put it down, it isn't as bright as you might think. So let's just give it a sharp, and I need a nice sharp edge because I'm going to go around here. And you can see that although it is very, ooh, pink, it's not quite as bright as that one. And I'm not going to layer it down quite so much so that we haven't quite got that big brightness. And then we're going to do a little bit in here. Like that. And then down here with these. And we have to think of something for the leaves, foliage and these flower centres. We've gone quite cold coloury with our sort of pinks and purples, I think. So I'm thinking maybe I'll just do my flower centres in a light grey. We have a smoke grey, which I think is a little bit lighter than the cloudy grey. Whoops, that I'm going to just use for the flower centres. I know it's a bit unusual, but I just want to sort of keep my colours similar. If you would rather use a different colour, absolutely do. I might use this for the teeth. I'll have a think about that in a minute. Yeah, no, I am going to. What I'm going to do is make it darker at the top like that, and then a bit less like that, and sort of fade it in. So I'm hoping it might look like the teeth are silver. I think that's quite fun. And I'm wondering whether, if I can't find an ivory colour, whether to use a black instead. My son is laughing so much, sounds like he's crying. Brilliant. I love it. I love hearing laughter. Nothing like it. It's making me laugh. Oh dear. I think that's pretty cool. Silvery teeth. Okay. Ooh, sun's just spotting my eyes. Now I want some green. Now the green, a green that I would use to go with all these colours would be more of a, more of a bluey green. I'm going to grab the mint green. Here it is. And I'm going to start up here with these leaves around this flower. I'm going to try and make it a little bit more intense near this base, a little bit lighter to the tip. I think I can do this with these. Yeah. I'm not going to blend in too many colours. I'm just going to use this one. I haven't got a big range of bluey greens, so I don't want to use too many. Also, I still don't want this bit so dark as our headband. Okay, so that's our leaves, and I'm looking around here what else is going on. We've got this curl. I'm thinking this could easily be a vine, so we'll colour this in as well. I'm probably just going to block this one in. Like that, and do these little bits too. Make that a little bit darker there and then fade it off. And the same here, make it darker in there and on the edges. Like that. And I'm going to do the same on the other side because it's obviously a symmetrical design. It's quite a pretty green, isn't it? My son was complaining that it was cold this morning. He said my hands are actually still warm. Even though I've been down for breakfast, it's always cold in our kitchen. Now this vine, I'm not sure where it goes. I'm going to start this in. So it's what made me think that I should put on my wrist warmers just in case. And it's quite good because if my hands get cold, my fingers get stiff, and then it makes colouring quite difficult. So this goes around there. I'm just going to make that bit a little bit darker and that bit. I'm thinking I might make these two into leafy type things, fade it down like that. And then the same with these two. I've got these sort of gaps. I'm just going to wipe my nose. I'm not sure what to do with those, but I'm just going to persevere through. I mean, persevere through sounds very chorish. I don't mean that. I mean, I'm going to complete the lovely green and then decide what to do with this. Because I'm really not sure. Could put some black in here. This bit, wasn't it? But I'm just looking at my swatch chart at the yellows. But no, we have a jasmine yellow, which is the closest to a cream if we want to do a sort of bone look. But I don't know if I want to bring a warm colour into the mix, really. So, do I do these leaves here? No, because we're all cold, aren't we, at the minute? It's a bit of a difficult decision. I've always found this page very difficult to colour. I've coloured two versions of Magical Jungle, completed them, and there are actually completed book flip throughs of both on my YouTube channel, and a comparison one between the two, so you can see how I changed how I coloured. I remember in one of them I tried, it wasn't on this page, but I tried some watercolour and it was a disaster and I just gave up. I didn't complete the page, which is really unlike me, but I was just like, ugh. Don't like this, I don't want to continue with it. It was the only page I've ever done that with. I did try some watercolour the other day as well in Nice Little Town Halloween, and some bits I thought were okay. It was actual watercolour, it wasn't pencil, it was, you know, I've got a watercolour pan, some pans, and some bits, like the background bit where it was quite pale and it sort of faded out, it looked okay, but most of it was ick. Now, is this a leaf or a cutout bit? I think maybe a cutout bit. Now I'm looking at this thinking vine, but where does it go? I'm going to just start here and see where it leads me. It looks like it's quite the convoluting curl of vine. I think it might lead into the eye, to be honest. That bit ends, but this bit continues. Oh yeah, all the way around. All the way around there. Now I never know what to do in the gap in here either. Very hard to know. I guess it would be dark, shadowy, I think. I don't want it to look scary. You know me, I don't like scary Halloween. It's interesting that I put out a video yesterday of a review of Helen Elliston's Halloween book, and someone was like, no, commented, nope, don't like Halloween. It's like, that's fine, I don't want to do this scary stuff. But I got it, I don't like doing it either, but there was some really good tutorials for things like rust and metal and wood and slime and what were the other ones I was interested in? I'm not sure, but just some really good ones, I thought, which you can just ignore the fact that it's, you know, it don't have to be scary. So I thought it was good. And yeah, I thought it was, she'd done it quite well, to be honest, to make it not too scary. Like, there was this sort of ghost background, but you could take the ghosty bit out and just make it swirly, and it would work for anything, you know, that sort of thing. So it was, I thought it was good. Okay, that is what I think is all the leafy bit. I'm just looking at where our patterns go and looking at my colours and having a little think. So I could do the jasmine for some of the bone, but should I do some black? It's so difficult, isn't it? I don't want it to look too scary. I think I know what I'm going to do. I am going to grab my black noir, it's called. I haven't used it yet. Oh, the sun keeps getting in my eyes. Okay, and I'm going to do this little gap between the teeth here. What I think I'm going to do is some of the outlines. So around the mouth here we've got this sort of outline. Do it in black. I think it would just help some bits to stand out a little bit. And it might help me decide what to do with the rest. As I say, it's always been a bit of a puzzly page for me. I've never been quite sure what to do with it. So I've got an idea about the background, but whether I stick with it or not is another thing. Now, I don't know, I think I'm going to do that bit in black as well. A bit around here. And then, yeah, I've got a few bits at the top. This is definitely going to be 2 videos, at least. I think 2 might be enough. But there are a lot of leaves. Coming up with a little idea in my head as to what to do with the rest of this skull bit. Oh, sun is in my eyes. I'm trying to look up at my camera. It's blinding me through the window. I was going to do, I can't see. There we go. Oh, I had to put my hand, oh no, I can't see, on my forehead to to block out the sun then. There we go. Now I am going to use the jasmine yellow for the rest of the skull, and I'm going to do all of it in this like that, not too hard. I know it's a sort of warm colour and we're doing cold colours, but I think it'll be fine. It's gone all dirty because I smudged a bit of that black in. I'm not sure if the non-watercolour set is quite as smudgy as this. They are quite soft pencils. There we go, and the same down here. Shut the blind before the next video, even though the sun isn't on the page, just so I can see my screen. If I can't see whether the screen, I can't tell whether the book is in the centre or not. I think this soft colour helps the bright pops of colour, the flowers and the band, the headband, stand out more, which is what I was hoping for. So that's good. I'm not very good at colouring in a light colour though. I can't tell whether I've missed bits, but I'll do my best. That's what I can do, isn't it? Now we've got this bit here which I've obviously missed. I'm just going to try to tidy that a bit. I've got to decide whether I'm doing anything with these shapes. I'm wondering whether to just go around them in white. Now this bit I think I'm going to do in the pink colour, in the Fruit Punch. Now I'm going to get a white pen. I'm going to find, where is it? Here we go. This is a Jelly Roll 10. I'm going to try and come out so the whole of the skull is in shot, because I don't want to have to keep looking up at my camera and blinding myself. And I'm going to put on some white dots. So some white dots here and here. And then I'm going to try and take that out. It's not going to erase it completely, but just it'll knock it back a bit, because I don't want that. I want to sort of ignore them. My pen isn't working very well. I don't know what's wrong with my pen today. Maybe they don't write so well on Arteza. I don't know. I know Arteza used to, I don't know if they still do their own range of white pens, which were apparently fabulous, but I've never tried them. It's harder to get Arteza stuff in the UK. You can only get it on Amazon because it's American, isn't it? They're an American company. It's a bit easier to get Castle Arts. I don't know if they're American too though, but I think they definitely have a UK base, if that makes sense, whereas I don't think Arteza do. But I sort of categorise them together in the sort of mid-budget range. They're not the cheapest budget range, you know, like a student or kids range, but they're aimed at a adult market, but with a budget sort of range. So I just wanted to check in the camera again to make sure. Now the eye sockets, I just don't know. I suppose I should do them in the colour them cream really, because there's bone in there, isn't there? Maybe I'll do that now quickly. So whoops, grab the jasmine yellow again. Just colour them in. Very hard to not drag any of that black in. I'm just going to do the best that I can. Now of course they would be set in and they should be darker with shadows and all sorts of things. I'm just going to keep it really simple and leave it like that. I don't want to overcomplicate it. There's no point. I'm just going to spend some relaxing time with my pen, trying to cover over these bits and dots and things. So I hope everyone's doing well today on this Monday. It's the last Monday in October, can you believe it? I assume in the UK it's the first Monday of half term. Half term is usually the last week of October. The schools have a week off. I think so anyway. I have a feeling my kids might get that week off classes too, but I'm not entirely sure. One of my sons says his timetable is blank for that week. The other one I haven't asked him. So we'll see. But might be able to just do a week of study, which might be needed. Yeah, and not be wasting time travelling and stuff. They can actually get their heads down and get some work done. Whether they will or not is another issue altogether. I find it hard to understand them because I would always just get on. As soon as I have my essay questions, I'd start writing them, doing the research and getting on with them as best I could, and whereas they don't seem to want to do that. I've also realised that that nose bit there is white. It also needs to be in the jasmine yellow. And then we would have finished our little skull. I think has come out okay. Now, where I put the white pen on, it's not perfect. It's quite difficult to do it, to get it to work. What I might do is put another layer on once that's dry. But I feel like I've achieved what I wanted in that I feel like the headband is showing up more than the rest, and I don't think it looks too scary. So those are what I wanted to achieve. But what I'm going to do is stop there and do the background and leaves tomorrow. I've got an idea for the background which will hopefully make the leaves easy. Hopefully, we'll see. But for now, thank you very much for watching. Hope that you have a really super day and happy colouring.